Manchester United this morning, Bruno Fernandes has signed a new contract at Old Trafford that will keep him at the club until 2026. The deal includes an option to extend by a further year as well. Now, we told you last week Fernandes was due to extend his contract. It will see him double his wages to around £240,000 a week. The Portugal international has been a key figure for United since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in 2020 for a fee that could still rise to £68 million. We've already had a little discussion on this in the last hour, Mark, but the best is yet to come, apparently. Can Fernandes get even better?
I think he can, but it's going to take Manchester United rebuilding again, I think. We clearly see that United are a side that are disjointed. There are players, Paul Pogba obviously the one out of contract, whether or not he stays at the club or whether he moves on. The manager still needs to be decided, and I think once all that happens, and then the recruitment begins with, I think, some proper organisation, proper foresight and vision of how they want Manchester United to play, I think then things can improve. And I think certainly Bruno Fernandes could become an incredible player, albeit he's been wonderful for United for the years he's been there.
Yeah, what have you made of his just overall performances this season? Was he how you expected when he signed for United back in 2020?
I think I was more surprised at how well he started when he first arrived. I think probably for the first 18 months or so, I thought he was incredible. I thought he was a player that certainly surpassed my expectations of him, albeit I hadn't seen a lot of him beforehand. So it was one of those ones where you kind of were impressed with every performance. This season certainly has been a lot more challenging, not only for himself personally, but I also think for United's side. So again, it reverts back to, yes, he can make a difference, but only so much. And I think there are other distractions, there are other different problems within the side that make it difficult, I think, for United to really contest for any major silverware at this moment in time.
It's one less thing for a new manager to have to worry about, isn't it? One less discussion to be had. And whoever United's new manager is next, surely going to be pleased with this. And maybe will help others as well extend their contracts.
Quite possibly. I think certainly for stability going forward, I think he's one of the players that you would certainly look at as key to re-signing and keeping at the club. And I think those discussions certainly would have been ongoing for quite some time in terms of the vision of who United believe are the right players to keep at the club, who are the players they need to tie down, and then moving forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if it were already in consultation with potential managers going forward. The question being asked if he were a player that you would be very keen on keeping, and I'm pretty sure from all the managers they would have been speaking to, it would have been pretty unanimous that he would be one of the main players they would want to keep at the club. Therefore, the decision for the club is a very easy one.
On Man United, I want to just ask you about Harry Maguire, of course, returning to club action just days after being booed by England fans at Wembley as he was coming on. What did you make of those boos from the section of fans?
It's always tough for any player. I mean, I've had it at club level where your own fans turn on you and boo you. I've had it as an ex-player returning to clubs. Internationally, I think as a team, we've been in situations where we've been booed, not individually. So, I mean, that's another level. And I find that fans obviously will have an opinion and are entitled to their opinion. But ultimately, as players, certainly as human beings, you want them to support your nation no matter what. Once the selection's been made, once that decision's been made for players to put on that shirt to represent your country, you want to get behind them. You don't want to make it even more difficult for your side by going against one of your own players. And that's the disappointing thing. I can understand people's frustrations, but I don't understand the ongoing booing. Maybe at the beginning of showing their disapproval, but to continue it throughout a match, I think is in bad taste. For Harry Maguire, obviously, it's never nice in any situation. And I think certainly with the national team, it takes another level when you are booed by people that, of your own country who you're representing. So I hope, for him, I hope he turns it around. I hope he's able to prove the critics wrong. And obviously that starts with putting in really good performances at Manchester United.
Do you think Ralph Rangnick will pull him aside? Will he have a little chat to him, do you think? Do you think his teammates will rally around him, like his England teammates very much did? They had his back. Slightly different situation at his club, though, right now, isn't it, with regards to the dressing room?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You know, the manager certainly would have had a word with him. I'm sure players would be lending their support to him. There's no doubt to me whatsoever. And that's what you expect and what you would want. You would want players to rally around you to lend their support. But ultimately, it's down to him. It's down to him to turn around his form. And there's no doubt that he has the ability. It's about now trying to rediscover that form that he's shown for Manchester United when he first signed.